Welcome everyone. I hope a lot of you guys were doing some great networking. I spoke with some of you. Excited to be here and to see a lot of new people joining as well for the first time. So welcome everyone to the next session of Meet the Members of Empower Africa. My name is Shai Bernstein. I'm head of business development at Empower Africa. And as you can see, it's a virtual networking event. So like I mentioned, some of you are new here, some of you have been here before, but you basically just double click on each chair that you want to hop onto. And that way you can join the table and join the discussion and meet awesome people and grow your business. So one thing you have to, of course, make sure is just on the bottom, there's the icon of a microphone and a camera. Just make sure to press that because that's the only way when you turn it on, you'll be able to communicate properly. So we had some networking time and now we're gonna move on to the Meet the Members podcast. Our special guest today is Evelyn Castle, CEO and co-founder of eHealth Africa Impact Ventures. She'll be joining me in just a moment after I play this video. So like I mentioned, I'm playing now a video, which is a 8-minute or so podcast discussion that I've had with Evelyn. It's pre-recorded, but she is here, of course, as many of you have seen and spoken with her. And please feel free to add questions if you have, okay? You'll see on the right side of your screen, if you see the chat, there's a Q&A button. So you can just press that and add any questions that you may have, feel free. And after that, we're gonna move on to some more networking so you guys can continue getting to know each other. So without further ado, in a moment, I'm gonna play the video. And I just recommend, before I do so, in order to see the screen, full screen, you can also press on the right side of the actual screen. There's a button with 4 arrows, so that enlarges the screen. So this way you can see better the actual video that I'm going to show now. Like I mentioned, about 8 minutes of the podcast of me and Evelyn. Here it is. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our next session of Meet the Members of Empower Africa. My name is Shai Bernstein. I'm VP of Business Development and Partnerships at Empower Africa. And as you can see, we're having more and more of these sessions because we want to, all our members to mix and mingle and get to know each other. We have fantastic people joining our business community. Very excited about that. And for those of us who are joining us for the first time, Empower Africa is a business community with a mission to drive investment, trade, and job creation in Africa. We believe in trade over aid and that business is the best way to grow, build, and create sustainable and scalable solutions. We believe in bringing good people together, the power of synergy. And our goal is to create connections, optimize communication, and maximize on the collaboration. So the business community brings together SMEs and entrepreneurs, investors, banks, PEs, VCs, government officials, multinational enterprises, nonprofits, all to one table to really enhance the communication and collaboration that can happen. So speaking of bringing good people together, it's my pleasure and honor to welcome Evelyn Castle, CEO of EHA Impact Ventures. Evelyn, thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me.
Yes, of course. It's funny, we mentioned before that we connected years ago in Sierra Leone, and the world continues, and I'm glad that we reconnected, speaking in this wonderful podcast. Please, Evelyn, tell us a bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I started my career doing research actually at the University of California in Santa Cruz, looking at kind of like how can technology be used in healthcare. And based on that research, at one point, myself and my business partner decided, well, let's just move to Nigeria and see what happens. So we started a nonprofit organization called eHealth Africa, and that organization, it's now been about 12 years that we've been running that. And really the goal of eHealth Africa is to use technology and data to improve health decisions in Africa. And we've had a really fun career. We supported the polio eradication in Africa and in Nigeria. We were a big player in the Ebola response. We were based in Sierra Leone, Liberia, Guinea, and then obviously helped with the Ebola response here in Nigeria too.
Wow.
Yeah. And I recently also obviously been supporting the COVID response. I was part of the presidential task force here in Nigeria supporting that. So the NGO, working in the aid world has been a really interesting experience, but at the same time, eye-opening in a lot of ways as well. As much impact that we've had around things like disease eradication, using aid for disease eradication, we also saw that aid wasn't always the kind of like sustainable, long-lasting change in the health system. So a couple years ago, we decided to venture into the for-profit side of healthcare, and we started a network of primary care clinics called EHA Clinics. And that's been going super well. We now have 3 clinics in Nigeria, over 2,000 members, and we've been a big player from the private side also on the COVID response here in Nigeria. And based off of the decade of experience that we've had at this point, looking at how to run companies and how to implement projects in Nigeria, we really feel that kind of the way for sustainable change in Africa is through supporting SMEs. And because of that, we've started now an impact investing company called EHA Impact Ventures. And we're still in the process of launching it. We started earlier this year, but our focus is really going to be on supporting female-led enterprises. We know that female-led SMEs are generally overlooked. They don't even get like a fraction of the funding that male-led SMEs get. And then supporting them not just through money, but through our experience about really how to build a base and an infrastructure for SMEs to grow and thrive here in Nigeria.
Fantastic. Wow. I mean, look, first of all, I couldn't agree with you more, of course, about the whole, SME being the engine of growth, right? We all know that, and just the importance of the sustainability aspect of it. And I totally, resonate with what you're saying about the women founders, because it's a known issue all over the world. And actually just recently spoke to a number of different, both VCs and actually women entrepreneurs and CEOs who were talking about, the problem and how serious it is, but then at the same time, some wonderful initiatives that are moving towards fixing that problem. One of them was Demi from Total Energy Ventures, and a bunch of other ones. So, maybe it would be good also for me to connect you with them. That may be interesting. So we'll take that offline. Okay, wonderful. And I mean, could you share a little bit with us, just, I don't know, some of your latest activities or maybe your plans for the future?
Yeah, so one of the things that we're excited about is there's a group here in Nigeria called the Impact Investors Foundation. They're based down in Lagos, and they're hosting a deal summit in November. And they've asked us to come on and help support them with really finding some of these SMEs who are ready for, that are like investment ready. And in Nigeria, especially, Lagos really gets the majority of the spotlight around enterprises. And a lot of those happen to be tech enterprises. And right. Even though I support, tech SMEs, we're really looking at like having a bigger impact, job creation, looking at like feeding the population. Tech SMEs aren't necessarily going to get us there. Right. So they've asked us to support them with doing these kind of like road shows in Abuja and then in the north in Kano about how do we target these kind of like normally excluded groups of people from the kind of more like Lagos venture funding. So we're going to support them with doing a couple road shows, reaching out to our networks, trying to get groups that are interested in investments to come in, and then hopefully the deal summit will be like a matchmaking summit where investors and SMEs will come together, and hopefully we can spread some of that love out of just Lagos.
Fantastic. So that's another thing we should follow up offline and discuss like how we could potentially collaborate, how we can help. Okay, wonderful. So before we wrap things up, as I told you, I always like to ask the guests to kind of, just share a quote or saying that they like or resonate with. So please Share with us.
I don't know if this is like a life thing, but the number one thing that always resonates with me that I feel like, living in Nigeria, sometimes you just have to go like your own internal like monologue sometimes. But my quote is always the Michelle Obama quote, "When they go low, we go high."
When they go low, we go high. Nice. Very good. Very good. Okay, Evelyn, thank you so much for joining us. And yeah, we'll discuss offline a number of things that we need to. And stay safe and healthy. And thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye. Okay, wonderful. Now, before I invite Evelyn onto the stage, I wanted to show you a brief video, about a minute and 30 seconds on Empower Africa. I know some of you guys are here for the first time. And so I mentioned it, of course, in the podcast. But again, in the chat box, you could also see a message that I posted with a link to join the Empower Africa business community if you'd like. So here's the short video just about us and what we're doing.
There is so much potential for a business to succeed in Africa. When looking to grow or enter into a new market, it's always more successful when you have the right partners and a supportive community. Empower Africa is a business community for qualified investors, businesses, governments, institutions, and nonprofits from around the world seeking to drive sustainable economic development in Africa. Those who become members of Empower Africa get access to our digital business platform, have opportunities to engage Empower Africa's members and partner organizations, and can attend exciting networking events. Meet with and learn from renowned speakers at one of our virtual networking events, where you can build business relationships with experts in your field and find new partners to offer your services to. Member companies can also have a booth on the conference floor and engage a vetted and quality community that would be interested in their products and services. For investors who are looking for deals or entrepreneurs who have exciting projects, becoming a member means you get deal flow or raise capital on the Empower Africa Business Network. This platform is a private business network with dedicated marketplaces and focused sector and country chat rooms to do business and stay connected from anywhere in the world. Become a member of Empower Africa today and drive business in Africa.
So, again, like I mentioned, feel free. There's a link in the chat box, and you guys can join and see all the wonderful events that we have coming up. Here we go. Evelyn, you're now on the stage. You just need to turn on your mic and camera. And I see we have already a couple of Q&A. Hi, Evelyn.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Sure. How you doing?
Good, thanks.
Wonderful. Okay, so we have some questions here, right? For a health tech startup that wish to pitch to Evelyn, right? How do we get access to her?
So we don't have like a super formal process right now because, like I mentioned, we're like really just getting started. But I did just paste my email address in the chat box. So feel free to just reach out to me and we can kind of take it from there.
Fantastic. Okay, next. I'm not sure what they mean here. I have a connection cut out. Do you reach across Africa? I guess in terms of just where you guys are focused?
So right now we're really focused on Nigeria, mostly because that's like the place that I've spent the most time and know the most. And so obviously when we're talking about investing money, I'm going to do it in the place that I feel the most comfortable. Yeah, our goal though would be to expand out at some point. My business partner actually just moved to South Africa. And South Africa has a pretty big impact investing ecosystem as well. But I would say for at least the first 5 years, the focus is really going to be on Nigeria. And I mean, quite honestly, there's more than enough work and investment opportunities here anyways. So.
No doubt. So Margaret's asking, you mentioned SMEs and women SMEs. Is it only health or do you do other things as well?
So we're doing
when it comes to women entrepreneurs. Sorry.
Yeah. So we're doing everything. The major piece is that it's women led and kind of like women focused. Again, it's just like when you're working in Nigeria and especially like in the health space, I feel like we've touched so many different industries. Most of our work has been like operations and logistics work. And so, we have a ton of information around like supply chain, agriculture, infrastructure, and then, yes, of course, healthcare as well. But we're not going to be industry agnostic. We are going to do basically any business model that we think makes sense. And most of it to start has been in the agriculture sector right now.
Okay, fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
All right, great. So Mickey Lazar asks here about your contact details. So Mickey, you can of course refer to the chat, and if you need help, you can reach out to me. Okay. Oh, Christian, I just met him briefly. How concentrated is the impact investment ecosystem in Nigeria? Are most of the members intermediaries or investors based in the capital, or given the size of Nigeria, is the province also covered? I guess just shedding some light on the impact investment in Nigeria.
Yeah, and I would actually be really interested to know like how different countries in Africa are around this. But most of like the impact investing or just investing in general conversations right now are all really in the South in Lagos. I had to like convince these people from Lagos to come even to Abuja, and like getting them. So I mentioned the roadshow in the video, and actually we had the roadshow in Kano yesterday, and then we have the one in Abuja tomorrow. And I had to like really drag these people from Lagos up to Kano, and they had never been to the north. I mean, they consider like Abuja the north. So it's really centered down in the South, which is why I say that a lot of the investments right now are going towards like the health, well, just like the tech industry in general. And especially because we've had these unicorns that have popped up, like, Flutterwave, OPay is now, getting a huge boost. I just saw somebody else just became an actual unicorn, but now I'm forgetting what it was.
Andela?
Yeah, Andela, thank you. Yeah. And so, a lot of the investors are looking for those unicorns, especially in Nigeria. And most of the investment opportunities that are more in the north are just not unicorns. I mean, they're, more along the side of like impact investing, 5-10 year type investment returns, which, I mean, there's no problem with that. I mean, those are still very good investments, but it doesn't have maybe the same hype or, sexiness factor that the fin.
Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed. That's very true. But it really is, it's fascinating to see what's going on now, especially just with the influx of tech all over the world. And, of course, there are many macro attributes here, right, in terms of money